Hello, this is Dan Farisi, Group Director of Content and Editorial, Industrial and Tech at Emerald. So happy to be joined today by Daniel Reed, who is Senior Product Manager for Tesira and Parlé with Biamp. Topic of conversation is, of course, Parlé, but I also just want to talk about the great success that Biamp had at InfoComm. It's now about a month out, and it was great to connect with the team at the show. Thank you so much, Daniel, for giving us the opportunity to catch up with you now and talk in depth about Parlé.
Yeah, and thanks for having me today. Yeah, InfoComm was a great event for us. Always enjoy InfoComm. Of course, the booth was packed the entire time. My voice is still recovering from the show, I think. It was hoarse from talking to everybody. The days went by so fast. It was a great event as usual with all the product introductions and whatnot. But one
No
of the things
doubt.
we were showing at the show was the Parlé Voice Lift solution, which is part of the Tesira platform using our Parlé mics.
Absolutely. Yeah. Every time I passed by the booth, it was absolutely jam-packed. So I'm with you there. But you mentioned Parlé, so let's get right into it. I'd love to get an overview of Voice Lift and of the core Parlé philosophy that carries through into this new chapter.
Yeah, definitely. So we've had Parlé mics for a number of years now. We first launched the Parlé family in 2019. And in fact, we've had microphone technology with beam tracking and whatnot back with Tesira microphones and even Devio microphones earlier than that. So it's a very great technology for us. It's a great solution. There's a lot in the Parlé that we've kind of thought about as far as making things easy and frictionless, right? We make it very easy to install the microphones. The microphones look really discreet and they're small form factor microphones. They're easy to use, easy to set up. They've been awesome in conference rooms. That's where a lot of our customers and partners and whatnot have known Parlé as a meeting room technology. But we've taken that philosophy of ease of use and we've brought it into larger spaces with Voice Lift now. And what Voice Lift is basically it's in the name of lift and it lifts the audio up to a natural conversational level. And that makes it so that discussions like you and I are having right now feel natural, feel conversational, even at great distances where our natural voices would be too quiet through the air. So instead of having to shout or scream, we can use our ceiling microphones to amplify our voices in the room and bring that discussion to life. One of the great things about this technology is that it's easy to use. It's frictionless. We don't have to worry about standing in the right spot, being close enough to a microphone, wearing the microphone or holding it correctly, or batteries that are dead, or wireless interference, or all those sorts of things. It makes it very easy for those of us who just want to use the space, have a meeting, have an event, give a presentation, just go in there and just get it done and just do it and not have to worry about the technology and be distracted by it.
100%. Technology is at its worst if it is distracting, if it detracts from the experience. It really should be enriching the experience. So that is a great way to frame it, I think. And I love also your focus on just the natural language aspect of it, natural voices. Don't make it seem mediated, make it seem like a natural conversation like we're having right now. Any other specific features or benefits you would like to run through? We've given us a good overview, but do you want to delve even deeper?
Yeah, certainly. There's so much to talk about, and we're probably not going to have time to go through all of it today, but that's okay. One of the great things about this solution is that it's all from Biamp. It's all within our Tesira platform. Parlé microphones are part of the Tesira platform, in addition to our amplifiers and loudspeakers and signal processors, control, everything in between. And being part of the whole platform, we have a lot of both ease of use, easy deployment, flexibility, power optimization. There's all sorts of things that we've thought about with this solution as we were building it up. We make it really easy for the integrator to get into this and use it. We have great design tools that help design the space, determine the correct microphone placement, determine the correct loudspeaker placement. I think as a lot of the audience knows, Voice Lift is a very complicated thing. It can be difficult to get up, difficult to get running. And we've looked at not just how the product works, but the experience around the product as well with designing for the system. And that's what those design tools are great for. We have a lot of setup enablers inside of our system. It's very easy to get a Tesira layout generated with our new dynamic processing library. The user can go in there, pick the right number of microphones, the right number of loudspeakers, and we generate the Tesira file and all the right channels and processing objects to enable a voice lift system. There's a lot of different technologies that we've looked at as we were developing this solution. One of the difficult things with a voice lift solution is feedback.
Mhm.
You have a longer distance from the talker to the microphone, so there's more background noise the microphone picks up. The microphone in the ceiling is great. It's convenient. It's also now closer to the loudspeaker, so it's more going to be apt to pick up that signal and cause feedback. So we developed a new feedback suppression technology inside Tesira, which is a frequency shifter. It's pretty simple. It just shifts the frequency spectrum, which breaks feedback. Feedback is just energy that builds up on a band, and it just builds and builds and builds and loops through the system, and the frequency shift just breaks that. So one of the really cool things about it is that the system does not ever go into that howling, screaming, ringing kind of feedback that sends us all running for the doors when it happens, right? So nobody has to worry about that system ever going completely out of control anymore. Um, there's a lot of other cool things that platform gives us, not just in the design experience. Um, our system with our microphones, we only need a single channel of echo canceling for those microphones.
Mhm.
We don't need channels per beam. You could do it in that way if there was a reason to, but you don't need to in our system. So that optimizes not only the DSP hardware cost, but it optimizes the system design, the amount of programming that has to be done, commissioning, all those sorts of things. Um, One of the things about Voice Lift is the mix minus setup, right? You have to go into the mixer, put on all the input channels, all the output channels, do the routing, do the mixing, do the cross point gain settings. It's a lot of stuff to worry about. So we created a calculator that does that math for you. So you put in the positions of your loudspeakers and microphones, we calculate the gain matrix, and then we made it even easier by letting you just import that directly into a matrix mixer inside Tesira now. So I don't have to sit there as the programmer or the commissioner and hammer in all these values one by one by one on every cross point, which can get pretty burdensome in a really large system.
Oh yeah.
Um, yeah, exactly. So there's so many things we've done in the system, and that's again the power of a single software ecosystem from a single vendor, from microphone to speaker with Biamp, is that we can make these things a lot easier to do, and also just sound extraordinary and great at the same time.
What I love about your answer, Daniel, is that, I asked about features and you gave me those, but you really framed them not just as a feature list, but as a value prop for the end user, for the integrator. You weren't just talking about the spec, you were talking about the outcome. And it really does seem like the value prop is really compelling. Again, not just for the end user, but also for the integrator, him or herself.
Yeah, exactly. Specs are cool. We all love specs. I love specs, but we want to solve a problem first, right? And yeah, for the end user, what we're enabling here is self-service. We're all end users of meeting spaces and presentation spaces and whatnot. We want to just go into the room. We want to just book it ourselves and just go have the event. I want to just have an event, go in there, deliver a presentation, or have a discussion in a large meeting space, or go move furniture around in that multi-purpose room as I want to myself as a user, and just have it all work. I don't want to have to coordinate the right time and schedule it with the AV team and get a person in the back of the room to run the system and make sure everything's functional and the batteries are charged and all that. We want to just get into the space, as you said earlier, not be distracted by the technology, not have to show up 30 minutes early to get everything prepared. Just go in there and use that space.
Yeah.
And for the AV manager who owns these spaces, there's a lot of investment that they put into these spaces. And they can maximize that investment by not having to worry about having people that are always present to serve those spaces as well. For the integrators, again, working with a single vendor, you get a single vendor for purchasing, for support, for design, for the software environment. It's all done in the same environment, the same space, the same technology. One of the cool things about our solution is it's not new hardware. We actually were able to just take our existing microphones that everybody's been using and comfortable with for a very long time and evolve them with software updates. So integrators that have been using Parlé and Tesira can jump right into this without a whole lot of training, without having to learn new technology, and do what they've always done with Biamp and get this going faster. So there's a lot of great things. And like I said earlier, technology is great, specs are great. I love looking at the ports on the back of things, but we thought about it beyond this. We thought about how to just make it easier end to end for everyone who's involved in these kinds of spaces.
Absolutely. Just make it work. Just make it work. And it sounds like you took that ethos, that mindset directly and infused it into this. And just a quick note about target applications. Do you want to just kind of put a finer point on that, the applications for which this is ideal?
Yeah, certainly. Um, any kind of spaces where you have a large discussion, a large meeting, or a presentation happening where you would need some kind of amplification, where the distances between people are greater than what our natural voice can carry through the air without having to shout. Again, we want this to be comfortable, conversational. We want it to sound like we're sitting next to each other across from a table, having a discussion, but do that at distance. And those kind of spaces are like in education, like classrooms, lecture theaters, places like that. In the enterprise and corporate environment, there's enterprise corporate training rooms, there's multi-purpose spaces, there's corporate all-hands spaces, and those are all great for this type of solution. In government, there's all sorts of different local, state, national government facilities where meetings and discussions and things happen like that. Even event spaces kind of in the retail and hospitality sector with hotel multi-purpose rooms and ballrooms as well. Again, there's so broad of different places you could use this technology. One of the other great things about it is that you've already installed microphones for conferencing in a lot of these spaces. So we're using the same microphones in these spaces to also do the in-room amplification, which means we don't have to worry about putting in a redundant system as well. So again, in a lot of spaces and a lot of different types across education, corporate, government, some of the entertainment sectors as well, this is a great fit.
So my last question, Daniel, and I want to draw on your experience in this area and of course Biamp's 50 years of audio experience. What is most relevant in your mind to today's market, and why is Biamp the company to handle it? Why is it positioned best for today's market?
Yeah, certainly. Again, our philosophy in the development of these solutions, I think, is great for the environment now. Work is hybrid. People are in offices, in facilities, students are in schools, learning, collaborating, working together. But there's also remote participants. There's people in different offices talking to each other. There's people remote that are talking to each other. Work is all hybrid now. And so this technology really enables both a great in-room experience and an experience for the remote as well. And it's kind of elevating both sides of that equation to be as equal as we could make it. And again, getting rid of that distraction and getting right on to business. We've made this easy. Integrators are under a lot of pressures to get things done quickly, to get things done reliably, to not have to worry about sending people back to site for issues. And that's what our technology is really all about, what our solutions are all about, is making things simple, easy, quick, reliable, and just that 50 years of audio experience. We want it, on top of all that, to just sound awesome, sound great. We want users to not be afraid of that room, that big scary room in the corner. We want to use that room because that room sounds awesome and never gives us trouble. That's what we want to hear from our users.
Yeah, get rid of that scary feeling. Make it welcoming, make it appealing, because you know that room has been tamed. You're going to be able to get the outcome you want from it. Thank you so much, Daniel. I really appreciate you taking the time to speak with me, share your excitement about what Biamp is doing. I really do. I'm thankful for the time.
Yeah, thank you as well. Nice to talk to you.
Pleasure to have been chatting with Daniel Reed, who is Senior Product Manager for Tesira and Parlé with Biamp. My name is Dan Farisi, Group Director of Content and Editorial, Industrial and Tech at Emerald. Please do keep your eyes on commercialintegrator.com in the days, weeks, and months ahead as we continue our InfoComm 2026 wrap-up coverage, as well as cover the latest innovations and revolutions from our industry's leading suppliers like Biamp.